Let's move to something that has happened, and I am bewildered, baffled, astonished. I don't even know what word I should use to describe my current reaction to what I'm about to show you. But do you remember when a few days ago during the live stream, we talked about how the Pope was addressing the fact that there are some priests that utilizing AI in order to have the AI write the preaching, whatever it is, the sermon that they're going to give to the people. And we were all kind of outraged for that. When you have seen nothing, because I'm going to take you to Switzerland today, and there is something I need to show you that is going to make your skin crawl in 3, 2, 1. This is the new insanity. This church has an AI Jesus for confession. Someone says, it gave me so much advice. I don't even know what to say. Let's find the article and let's have a look. So this church has an AI Jesus for confessions. Confessions makes me think this is Catholic. How can it be though? Let's see if they tell us more about it.
Do not disclose personal information under any circumstances. Use this service at your own risk. Press the button if you accept.
Is Catholic. Parishioners at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Lucerne now have the option of something that is being blocked, giving their confession. Oh my God. Doubled Deus in Machina, the futuristic shrine features a Jesus bot that theologians trained to answer religious... Oh my gosh. Who are the theologians? Who are the priests, the bishop, who are okay with this? Not to mention, in the wake of the Pope saying, maybe we shouldn't do the homilies with the AI, guys. And on top, and they are like, oh, okay, no homilies, got it. Let's just make the Son of God into AI. What a clown world. Unbelievable. This is satanic. Theologians trained it. It's not the first time worshippers have attempted to bring about the return of Christ with AI. It's not what? I have a lot to say. I don't even know how to... I don't want to speak too much. I want to read. Okay. But first and foremost, you know what this is? This is a perfect program for an atheist. Like, this is what someone who doesn't believe Jesus exists would do. This is someone who doesn't believe that Jesus has risen would need. This is why I'm so... I have no words. It's a denial of the true power of prayer. And I understand if you're an atheist, you don't believe in that, fine. But a Christian? That's why I'm saying this is for an atheist. If you're an atheist and you're like, no, I think it's cool, watch it, use it. It's not like I'm going to make it illegal for you. It's to the Christians. It's to the fellow Christians that I'm speaking. Then I would be... And so if you are a fellow Christian, forgive me for taking it for granted that you believe that Jesus is real, you believe in the power of prayer, you believe that he was resurrected, you believe that God watches us and listens to us. Hence, this is a mockery of our faith.
Don't misuse the Big G's name. Respect.
Big G's? Oh, he even uses Gen Alpha terminology.
4. Keep the vibes chill on Sunday.
No, I can't do it. Keep the vibe chill on Sunday. I can't do it. All right, let's read. I can't do that. This church has an AI Jesus for confessions. Gave me so much advice. Said who? Said who? Is this a messiah? Ooh. Oh, that's good though. That's a burn right there. Is this the Messiah? That's I'll give him that one though. I'll give him that one. Just in case artificial intelligence hasn't been taking on enough jobs lately, now it's replacing the Almighty. A church in Switzerland is now using an AI hologram of Jesus to take confessions from Catholic worshippers, as seen in a wild viral video. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much. So what this tells me is that whoever the parishioners, whoever the the worshippers. They have learned nothing. Like, if it's people that have been going to church for like decades at this point, and they're, listening to the priest, reading and that, and they're praying, okay, they learned nothing. If they see this and they think, oh, that's a good idea, then nothing. This is, it's basically the golden bull. It's the golden bull, but it's the Bible. That's what it is. You know what this is? Once again, for the non-Christian, excuse the Christian perspective for a second. I'm not trying to exclude you, but I mean, considering the topic, you know how the Bible usually differentiates the living God to the idols, the false idols, and it says because the false idols don't speak, they are mute. Unbelievable. It's demonic. It's demonic. I was surprised. It was so easy. And though it's a machine, it gave me so much advice. One awestruck worshipper told DW News while describing their experience with the sermonator located at St. Peter's Church in Lucerne. Burn it to the ground, metaphorically. I asked about the spiral of violence, how to break one, recalled one satisfied worshipper of AI Jesus pictured. The answer, through prayer and not seeking retribution. Yeah, not to mention that this can be used, by the way, to kind of manipulate what you want. Because here is the thing. Also, because this is something that often is brought up, like, clearly, if you're a person of faith, you believe in prayer. And this is not just a matter of Christianity. I mean, I don't know, pagans, in fact, Baron, if you can tell me about that. I don't know if pagans pray, in a way, to the pagan gods. I don't know if anyone worships. But in general, most religions believe in the power of prayer, whoever they choose to pray to. I think that's a common denominator. We believe that when you do pray, something is happening. But one of the counter-arguments that are usually brought against Christians and Christianity is, well, you asked God to do X, but it didn't happen, so prayer doesn't work. And to me, even at a logical sense, even from a logical perspective, that collapses as a counter-argument. You can tell me that you don't believe the prayer has any effect. That's your right. And you can also tell me that when I do pray for XYZ and it does happen, you can tell me it's coincidence. I can accept that. I don't believe that, but I can accept that from a logical perspective. It makes sense. But the idea that, oh, well, I asked, can you please help me not lose this job? And then I lose the job. That doesn't mean that prayer doesn't work. Because prayer, at least from a Christian perspective, is not there to change God's will or to force my own will from my flawed perspective. So you could say, well, then what's the point? If God has already decided in Christianity, there are two things that can happen when it comes to blessings. This is not going to be a doctrinal thing, but it's just to give you a perspective here, to show you why I'm so disgusted by this, particularly when it comes to fellow Christians that accept it. In Christianity, there are blessings that you're going to receive because it's part of the plan, and there are blessings that are conditional to you showing faith for them. So when you pray and you ask God to help people in need, or you ask God to do this for you, or you ask God to protect my cousin during the surgery, whatever, it could be you're putting the faith because you don't know, right? We don't have a perfect perspective. So you're putting trust in God, that he knows what's best for you because he sees more than you do. A bit like children trusting their parents because parents are older, they understand more. But you do try because maybe it is one of those blessings that you have to show faith. You have to show that you believe he can give, and then it shall be given to you. Or maybe it's one of those blessings that was going to happen anyways. But it's also possible, clearly, that from my limited perspective, when I ask God, please help me so that this thing doesn't happen to me, and then it still happens, I have to accept at that point, because that's what faith is, that that's the right thing for me, that he has a better perspective that I don't have. And just to give you an idea, I broke my leg, why did that happen? Can you heal it for me? It doesn't happen, it doesn't heal, but then there is a war, conscripted, and I don't go into the war because my leg is broken. That's just to give you an idea. He knew the war was going to happen, so if he had healed my leg, I would have been drafted. That's just to give an idea, of course. But that's the idea. The concept of prayer is not to force my will. And at the end of the day, even when you pray for something and it doesn't happen because it wasn't the right thing for you, for us, it's still a way to keep the communication open. It's good for our spiritual growth, gets us closer to Him. So prayer is complex. It has layers. You can still choose not to believe it, but it's just reductive to think, oh, you asked, it didn't happen, so it doesn't work. That's not the way we see it. But the reason why I'm saying this is because in this specific context, you are basically saying the prayer I don't need the prayer because I go and talk to this fake AI, which automatically, why would you do this if you believe the prayer is a real connection with the creator of the entire universe? It is a mockery. And if you want to play with AI, you could do it. You can use any of the language models, just don't put it in the church with the face of Jesus. That's the part that I find unacceptable. Dubbed Deus in Machina, the futuristic shrine features a confessional booth with a screen displaying the face of Jesus through the grate. Before entering, Robo-Jesus cautions, do not disclose personal information under any circumstances. Use this service at your own risk. Press the button if you accept. And everyone pressing the button, oh my gosh. Everyone pressing the button. The cybernetic savior is also fluent in 100 different languages, enabling it to converse with worshippers from all around the world. So, polyglot, guys, it's a polyglot. Many believers were over the moon about JC's robo-resurrection, which took confessions between August 23rd and October 20th. So this thing has been going for a month, but will be involved in events until the end of November. How is the Pope not addressing this? What is he doing? I asked about the spiral of violence, we already read that. Another recounted, he was able to reaffirm me in my ways of going about things. Yeah, and that can be a problem. These AI language models tend to agree with you. I put them to a test several times. Sometimes they're wrong because they are over-agreeable. Sometimes they will tell you no, but then if you insist, eventually they'll be like, no, I see how you see it that way. And yeah, they tend to agree. And this has led to serious problems. Like the guy that literally had the AI, he thought, because of course he had some mental problems. I don't know if you read this story, but this guy had some kind of clinical problems in his head. And he thought at one point that his mother was a spy for the CCP in China. And he talked about it with the AI, and the AI agreed. And maybe not at first, but the more this guy was like, but look, now she told me this immediately after the CCP made this statement. And the AI, no, I can see the connection that the guy ended up taking her life. He did it. Of course, this is someone who has mental problems. But it shows that these AI models will end up agreeing with you if you push enough. And that's a problem because a true teacher will agree with you, but will also disagree with you and tell you your ways are wrong. And he was able to help me with questions I had, like how I can help other people to understand him better. But the AI has no idea how you understand God better and come closer to him. Good luck with that. Deus in Machina. AI Christ was even able to navigate some of the thorniest theological dilemmas. How do I support, from a Christian perspective, an elderly, sick person who has decided on assisted, oh no, SUICIDE, asked one penitent. What did it say? Because in Canada, this is a mess. You do know that in Canada, apparently, I mean, I don't know. I didn't double check it, so I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to push falsehoods or exaggerations, but I do know that the assisted self-deletion is a problem in Canada. Perhaps you could ask your loved one the following question. What does your faith mean to you in this difficult time? AI Jesus responded. They didn't tell us how we'd respond to this, though. Is there anything else in life that could bring you peace or joy? How can I support you and give you comfort? St. Peter's Chapel theologist Marco Schmidt admitted in a statement translated via Google that while the project has its limits, you don't say, and raises some ethical questions, it raises a monumental cornucopia, a veritable cornucopia of questions, my non-friend. So far, all his answers have matched our theological understanding on St. Peter's Chapel. I'm going to give another biblical parallel for my Christian friends here. The story of the staff the staff of the prophet of God against the staffs of the priests of the Pharaoh. They could imitate it. They could imitate the miracle of God, and it looked like it. He threw it on the floor, turned into a serpent. They also do it. It also does it. But then the original one devours the other serpents. Imitation, at least from a Christian perspective, it's not confirmation of anything. If anything, in fact, it makes it sound like it's coming from another side. He says the idea isn't to have technology take Jesus' job. The church reiterated that installation was only temporary, but rather to spur discussion on the role of AI in religion. I can tell you what the role of AI in religion is. Zero. None. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are a lot of M dashes here, so I'm worrying now that this has also been written by AI at this point. So is AI trying to convince us that AI has a role in religion? What we're doing here is an experiment. We wanted to launch the discussion by letting people have a very concrete experience with AI, he explained. That way we have a foundation for talking about it and discussing it with one another. Well, how about, if you really want to do this experiment, do it with your priests. Because you are supposed to be leaders and leading the flock. But if you do this, you're like using your parishioners as guinea pigs. Absolutely not. Schmidt envisioned the AI offering 24 hours on-call pastoral support as, unlike their human equivalents, virtual priests don't need to sleep. Yeah, neither does that devil need to sleep. No, this is unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. This is terrible. I did not know it was a Catholic church. Unbelievable. Horrifying. You're absolutely right. Adol Tauri, absolutely right. Devil working overtime, I would say so. AI Jesus, ladies and gentlemen. How about no? How about thanks but no thanks? In fact, this account, Giga-based Dad, he said, what in the blasphemy is this? I mean, he's right. What did I say? I don't even remember. I said, this is a mockery of our faith. What denomination is doing this? I was asking in my innocence. The Roman Catholic Church. Because, I was expecting some Anglican, probably not Anglican in Switzerland, I mean, whatever. But I was thinking, because there are churches that are a little insane these days with all the stuff that they push. I did not expect this, I'll say. But, yeah, pretty bad. The Catholics in my family were expecting this sort of thing. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you do know that I'm not a fan of this Pope, and I wasn't a fan of Francis either. But then again, we'll see if he's going to tell us, if he's going to say something about it, or if he's not going to speak. I mean, if he doesn't speak on this, then what's the purpose?